Welcome back to Tampa Bay Today at Money Talk 1010 a.m. I am Schreiner along with our executive producer, Pat George. Our ongoing conversation on the topics of the day, whether it's news, politics, the economy, jobs, COVID adjacent, social media trends, and more. We cover it all. But our favorite part of the show is when we do the open mic segments and we allow people that are doing things in Tampa Bay to come on the air and talk about it, whether it's a business or a service, a charity, or in the case of today, we are going to be speaking with Alan Clary. He was hosting an Unlock Your Future conference coming up in August. Good morning, Alan. How are you today?
Hey, good morning, Schreiner. How are you doing?
I'm excited. Just a little bit of heads up for you, as our listeners already know. I am getting ready to be an entrepreneur myself after 30-some years in working for other people, which I'm going to continue to do. The entrepreneur aspect is on the side, but I am literally going to become Santa Claus. And this is going to be a combination of a lot of social media influencer type work, but also a product launch. So I am very excited to have you on the show to talk about what it's like to be an entrepreneur and to help learn from people that have already been down that path. Why don't you give us a little background on yourself and what brought about this conference?
Hey, Schreiner. First of all, I was just listening to your previous segment. I have to share a quick plug for a fellow entrepreneur here in Tampa.
Please.
You were talking about drug and prescription prices, right? In the news, right? So there's a startup right here in Tampa, came out of the Tampa Bay Wave called Care Valet. My good friend Joe Hodges launched that, and it's an app all about that kind of transparency with medical costs and pharmacy. So I thought that was a great segue, and that's right here in our city. But that's a great example of people who get a big idea. It's called Care Valet, by the way. Big idea and want to make a big move and do something really big in the world. And that's really how entrepreneurship starts. It starts usually with somebody who sees a problem, like Joe did, sees a problem that they're experiencing personally. They get very excited about solving that problem, or they see something missing in the world, right? Like an amazing restaurant with an amazing kind of food that should be there, so let's go create it. Or there's a problem that they're experiencing, so let's go solve that problem. We often say no problem, no business with entrepreneurship. It's kind of the first rule of entrepreneurship. If you're not solving a pain point, sometimes we call it pain or gain. If somebody's not, if you're not solving someone's pain, or if you're not providing them tremendous gain, then you're often going to struggle. So anyway, I just want to put that out there on the top.
No, it's fantastic. Care Valet. And it's nice to know that I'm not the only one that thought there's got to be a better way. Remember the old I don't know what old company that was. There's got to be a better way. Yeah. And that's exactly what you're trying to help people do.
Yeah, and Joe's got a great story. He started his first company out of a closet. And he built that into a multi-million-dollar business from a spare closet that he borrowed from someone. And he had a friend pay for his travel while he was getting that first business off the ground. He became a multi-millionaire that way. So this is his second or third startup since that spare closet. So
and that often happens, right? Yeah, that's often where entrepreneurship comes. It comes with an idea. Yeah. I actually spent a little bit of time Sunday morning. I was in my living room. I turned around and I looked at my desk in the corner, and I actually had that moment. That is where it began. That is where I started shooting my first videos with the intent to publish them. This is where I'm sitting down doing my research on the product that I need to develop and patent and trademarks and everything else. And it's hard to believe that in a small 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow in a corner of a tiny living room, that's where it starts. But that's the thing about being an entrepreneur. You don't have to have a lot to get started, but you have to have the idea and you have to have the drive. Yes. And we're going to get into some of the concepts and topics that you're going to talk about at your event coming up, Unlock Your Future, because it can be intimidating. And if I didn't have a support group of mentors around me that had already been down this path with their own companies, I would still be in the dreaming stages. So tell us more about Unlock Your Future, the conference, and what people can expect.
Absolutely. Schreiner, thanks for having me on here. Yeah. I'm a long-time 20-year resident here in the Tampa Bay area. In the startup ecosystem, one of the very first players in the ecosystem was called the Tampa Bay Wave. It's a nonprofit community-supported startup accelerator, and I was fortunate enough to be there in 2008 when we started that, and it's just been a blessing to watch the Tampa Bay Wave grow year after year to do it now, having helped literally hundreds of startups get launched and helping them raise capital and so many cool things. But now there's so many other great sources in the community for startups. You got Embark and the Tampa Bay Innovation Center in St. Petersburg, and you got the Florida Israeli Accelerator, et cetera, et cetera. So our community has really come a long way with this, right? So this conference is a culmination of kind of all the relationships, a lot of the relationships that I've been collecting over the last 20 years in this ecosystem, but trying to put a conference together where people could come and get like an intense version of what we do every day, working with all the startups we work with and coaching, right? Like what I call a healthy dose of inspiration with information. And what we've done is we booked 11 speakers, actual entrepreneurs who have pushed through and gotten to the next level, and they're going to come and do TED Talk type style talks the last weekend of August.
Right, that's going to be August 27th through the 29th is the actual conference. There's a kickoff on Friday the 27th, full day Saturday, and an intense, detailed workshop content on Sunday. So this is something that a lot of people are going to want to know about. By the way, I'll repeat the website several times if you want to get tickets or even apply, because I think you're also going to be giving away free tickets. UnlockYourFutureNow.com is the website. So
thanks, Shriner, for that. UnlockYourFutureNow.com is exactly right. And the part that I'm probably the most excited about is these free tickets, right? So what we're finding is that the community, a lot of folks are that can't make it are buying tickets so others can go. We all know that early and aspiring entrepreneurs, often are budget constrained, right?
Right.
So what's great, we have an outpouring of support right now. People that are buying these tickets for like the all-day ticket on Saturday is $350, right? So we have people just now sending us that to say, hey, send somebody, because everybody loves to support entrepreneurship, even if it's not for them. Even so, you think about all the successful people that we know. They get super excited about other people taking those. They know that that's the lifeblood of our economy. They know that's the American dream, so we're getting a lot of support. So our goal is to send at least 100 early and aspiring entrepreneurs to this conference for free.
That's fantastic, because that's the other aspect of being an entrepreneur. How many big ideas, how many great concepts have died because the people around these dreamers, I read a book called What the Heck is EOS and another one called Traction, and it talked about visionaries and integrators. Now, I'm more of a visionary. I have the ideas, I have the talent. I'm horrible about getting things moving forward, so I have people that have pushed me and held me accountable, which I needed. But how many people lose their passion because their friends, their family go, oh, you don't want to risk it. You've got a steady job. You're getting by. Don't take a chance. How many people have had their dreams die on them because of that? So having people willing to buy an admission to make it possible for somebody to go for free, that maybe the one step they need, going to this event just Saturday and listening to these talks may give them all the inspiration and the information. They may learn, oh, I never thought I'm going to need business insurance earlier than I anticipated because this might happen. I never considered that for my idea. And now, as of last week, I've shifted.
Yeah, absolutely. And these speakers are all going to make themselves available on the breaks all day Saturday and into a social period after. So they're not only going to be able to hear these talks, but also they can just walk up to them and meet them and chat, right? So that these speakers are not like professional speakers, Shriner. These are real entrepreneurs who have just made it up a few rungs in the ladder. Some of them several rungs, by the way, varying degrees. And they're just excited to come tell their story and to also give their best advice, their best information, the things they wish what we call things that we wish we knew then that we know now. That's really the spirit of it all.
I have to tell you, having talked to other entrepreneurs as I'm going through my process, so I'm going to do this a lot as we talk about this. The people that have gone and have been through it are helping me to navigate and avoid traps and accelerate weeks or even months faster than I would have done it on my own, because they have done it and they know how to avoid the hang-ups. So going to a talk like this, can you give us, for example, some of the topics that the speakers will be presenting at the conference?
Absolutely. One of them that I'd like to just, funny you mentioned traps. One of them is called the Solopreneur's Trap, right? It's one that I speak on a lot, the Solopreneur's Trap. People don't realize that there are some real traps there. We get very caught up in the dream and the romance of working for yourself and a lot of people out there that have a singular skill from, graphic design, programming, all the way to, building contractor, right? They don't understand a lot of times that you can kind of get caught up where you trade off in your 9 to 5 working for others, a lot of luxuries, a regular working hour day, time off, a vacation, benefits, to go do the thing you love, whether it's photography or building contractor or so forth. And if you don't have a good plan, you can fall into the solopreneur's trap where you get caught into where you're working 12, 18-hour days, including weekends, and you can't get out of that. And next thing you know, you can grow to hate the thing that you love so much,
right.
The thing you left to go do. If you don't have a plan and a mentor to help you not get stuck like that.
A plan is so crucial. That was one of the first things my mentor group had me do, was put together a plan. And they're like, that's a great idea. That's $1 million idea. Throw that out, read these books, come back in a month, and we want to see another plan. But we need you to see this, and this in the plan. So they gave me the outline that I was missing from my initial research. Having that there, so now I know what I want to do within a year, within 3, 5, and 10. And the next thing you know, I had always considered this as a solo thing. I may end up being, within a few years, a job creator myself, hiring people to full-time, which, by the way, what a great dream is that you can now provide an opportunity for others to grow and make a living, right?
You put your finger right on it, Shriner. 90% of the people who make the leap to go do the thing they love, just think about solopreneur types, they want to go do the thing they love,
right?
From a home business on and on down the line. If they were coached properly, and if we wanted them to not fall into the trap I just described, they would be doing exactly what you said, which was more sophisticated than I think you even realize. You've got to obviously have some great coaches going on, because we try to encourage them to build a company instead of starting your own business, right?
Right.
Building your business. You're going to have to do it yourself for a while, but your plan should include, your first hire, your systems, your processes, your automation. And from day one, you have to have in your plan, how can you start separating yourself a little bit, not a lot. It takes years from the business so that you can reclaim, your own life and flexibility and all the freedoms you imagine, not to mention wealth. We should touch on this, Shriner, because if you think about it, you really would hard press to name anything in this world, especially in America, that can provide what we call wealth and freedom, or just wealth. Let's start with wealth, because wealth buys freedom, right?
Right.
So name anything that does that for someone outside of the lottery than entrepreneurship. So people that dream of one day of having some wealth, forget being a billionaire, just a few $1 million at the end of the run, right? Or be able to go buy a second house, or be able to go do the fun things you want to do a little bit later in life.
Or just look at your future retirement, being able to have income coming in from what you built so that you can enjoy those years, as opposed to worrying about every dollar you spend and when am I going to die. You want to be able to have that cushion, so to speak. So being an entrepreneur and working for yourself is one of the ways to do that. But it can be extremely exhausting. And when you mentioned looking ahead about your first hire, business processes, you're talking about things like storage, warehouse space, depending on what your idea is. One of the first things some of the men in my group told me was, where's your out? How are you going to sell the business, and to who? And I'm like, wait, I haven't even started yet. And they're like, yeah, but that needs to be a part of it. What is your out? Where do you want to be so that you can enjoy the fruits of all this work you're about to do?
Yes. They call it the exit, right? That's the term we use in the business, the exit. And it is very off-putting and jolting to talk to a young, just a hungry, energetic, or not even an entrepreneur any age, because they're excited to go do the thing that they want to go do, the thing they love, right? So it's really hard for them to advance the time scale 5, 7, 8 years away. And it's you have to be very gentle when you have that conversation, because nobody starts a business or starts entrepreneurship so that they can leave it, exit it, or sell it. It's just not why we do it. Nobody does it for that reason. So you want to be gentle in that conversation, but at the end of the day, you're absolutely right. They need to understand that, guess what? What I usually say to folks is, guess what? In 10 years' time, I usually like to throw it way out there, 10, 15 years' time, you're going to probably want the opportunity to step away from this business and have at least a few $1 million to show for it in your bank account to go do the things you want to go do. In fact, hopefully you leave it to other people to continue to run it. You stay involved. You get to do the fun parts that you like to do.
Right.
You work as little or as much in the business as you want.
You're back to
and
being
that gets people usually thinking correctly, right?
Mm-hmm. You're back to being the visionary, and then you have the integrators who can run the business, and maybe that is their specialty. That is their dream that they like to do. You have the opportunity to pick and choose who you're working with so that you can go and enjoy what you want to. And it's not just young people. Alan, I'm 52.
No.
I'm 52. I'm on the front end, and I'm just now on the front of what I see a 15 to 20-year run as Santa Claus.
Yes.
And that by that point, within 5 to 10 years, my brand, if I do this right and get a little luck and a lot of hard work, my brand will be a sellable asset. So we'll have to see how that plays. Yeah. What else do people need to know about the event coming up at the Grand Hyatt Tampa Bay, August 27th through the 29th? This is, by the way, we're speaking with Alan Clary. He's presenting the Unlock Your Future conference. What else can we tell people about the conference, and how do they apply for a chance to get the free ticket for the weekend?
Absolutely. So, again, the conference is at the Grand Hyatt the last weekend of August. Just, the website's the best way to do that, unlockyourfuturenow.com. And we've got our social media cranking as well. Each of the speakers are out, talking about it on social also. Go to the website to apply to be sponsored for a free ticket. Again, our goal is to have at least 100 people go there for free off of sponsored tickets. And it's there's even there's the all day session on Saturday, but we've got 2 dinners included for folks that want to spend a little bit more to enjoy the dinner experience. But it's just going to be a great weekend. Again, the people that are speaking there are there from passion and purpose. We're just all genuinely interested in sharing everything you and I just kind of talked about and touched on.
Right.
We're like, people need to know this. This is not just a rah-rah session for entrepreneurship. Everybody who's going to be on the stage is going to give you a healthy dose of reality also, because you have to go into entrepreneurship eyes open with a good plan, as you mentioned earlier, to be successful, to pull it off, right? So it's not a lot of over-exuberance. It's a lot of straightforward information that people need.
And don't think just straightforward business either. If it's a nonprofit that you're inspired to begin, if you want to do something for charity, you still technically are running a business, and the entrepreneurship lessons you can learn can be applied across the board. So
you have to raise money. I mean, if you could do a nonprofit, I mean, you've got to have a business plan. You've got to probably raise some money. You're going to have to, there's so many. The nonprofit startups are almost just like every other startup that we work with for profit. It's almost the same. So you're stepping out there. You're doing a big thing. You're taking some risk. You're having to go execute on a plan. And so you're right. This umbrella covers everything. And I would even say, by the way, even folks that aren't even sure they want to start a business, we have this umbrella. We have this kind of this tent wide enough to say, even if someone who just wants to get some inspiration, and even in their career, in their life, because even if they're not ready to start now, they may want to start 5 years from now, but like get some of these seeds planted, maybe even bring entrepreneurship to your big company. Like we call that intrapreneurship. It's intrapreneurship with an I. So this is just going to be kind of like energizing stuff.
Thank you. Again, we're speaking with Alan Clary, Unlock Your Future. And I would love to have you back. We're out of time now. When we get closer to the event, when we get into, say, early August, let's have you back on the show to talk about more of the speakers, what they're going to be presenting at the conference, because I really love the fact that there are going to be people. The people are going to be able to come in and see this and be inspired to step out of their comfort zone and go after their dreams. I really believe that this is a good thing for Tampa Bay, because entrepreneurship and those, you can call them mom and pops, those small businesses are the lifeblood of our economy and employment and everything that makes Tampa Bay wonderful. Again, Alan Clary, Unlock Your Future Conference, thank you so much for joining us on the show, and I look forward to having you back in a few weeks.
Shriner, thank you. I can't wait. Look forward to it. And there's a ticket. There's got to be a ticket coming your way. I had no idea I was going to be talking to an entrepreneur right now. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I guess since I've written my first checks and hired attorneys, I am technically an entrepreneur.
I love it.
When can I can call myself that now? All right, Alan, thank you so much.
Definitely, I definitely need to come back there. We got to talk about this some more.
All right, we'll have you back. Thanks again. This is Tampa Bay Today at Money Talk 1010 a.m. We'll be right back.